Hi there guys, it's Tom Voyage here. Now in today's video I'm going to be sharing some of my pizza dough stretching techniques. A few of you guys have been asking for this in the comments, so I thought I'd finally make the video and show you how I stretch my pizza dough. Okay. So the first thing we need to consider is the type of dough. Now, I've got my dough here, made this last night, about a 24-hour proof on this one. Now, the two things you need to think about with the dough, first of all, is make sure that it's at room temperature. Room temperature dough is going to be much easier to stretch than it is if it's cold or just out the fridge. The second thing you need to think about is the hydration. Now, a lower hydration dough, about 60%, is nice and easy to work with because it's not so sticky, but it is going to be harder to stretch because it's a stiffer dough. If you were going up to a 70% hydration, sure, that's going to be nice and stretchy, nice and easy to stretch, but it is going to be harder to work with because it's more sticky. So today I've gone with about a 68% hydration, which I think is a good level of hydration for being easy to work with, but also stretching nicely. So first let's talk about surface prep. Now some people like to stretch directly onto the peel, some people go on a metal surface, some people go on a marble surface if you've got that option. I like to just use this wooden board. So to start off we need a good layer of semolina, and we can use that to spread around once we're ready. Now we're going to put our dough ball directly onto this, but first we need to get our dough ball out of the tray. Now your dough balls can be quite sticky once they're approved in the tray, so what I recommend you do is get a bit of the semolina, put it around all the edges of the dough ball. Use your spatula to separate the dough balls and cut them in between. Then go back, put some more semolina on your spatula, push under the dough ball and lift it away. So we've got our dough ball on the board, we've flipped it over so there's a nice covering of semolina on both sides. Now what I'm going to do is just pick it up, move the majority of that semolina to the side, and then just spread a small amount evenly across and plop the dough ball back down. So using the tips of your fingers, starting in the middle, we're just going to gently push to the outside. You can turn this around, do the other side. And the idea here is to make a nice crust on the outside of our pizza. So as you can see, we're starting to form that circle shape now around here. And if you've got any big air bubbles like this one here, you can just pop those, just tear a little hole in it, because that's going to inflate and burn when you try to cook your pizza. And then once we're at this stage, we're ready to pick up our dough. So again, make sure you've got lots of semolina. And first of all, what I like to do is just put it in between your hands, let gravity do the work, and just pass it through your fingers and drop it back down. So next I'm going to pick it up, drape it over my knuckles like this, and just pass it through using this motion to get a nice even thickness all the way across our dough. Okay, so there is another technique that you'll see being used with pizza makers out there. So we've got another dough ball here just to show you. Now it's called the slap technique, or sometimes called the Neapolitan slap. And I will admit I'm still learning this one, but I thought I'd share it with you anyway. Now with this one, once you've pressed out your dough ball from the middle, use one hand to support it, then use the other hand to stretch it, then you throw it over the top of your arm and then slap it down. Now when you see the professionals doing this is the one where they're slapping it round all over the place. It looks really fast. Obviously it takes a little bit of time to learn, so keep at it. Round every single time like that. You see, I'm still learning here. It's making a rough shape, but that's basically how it's done. Now some of the problems you might face when stretching your pizza dough, first of all, is that the dough's shrinking back. Now this could mean a number of things. Firstly, check that your dough isn't too cold. If it is, obviously just leave it a little bit longer to come up to room temperature before you start stretching. Or if you're finding it is at room temperature but it's still springing back, what I recommend you do is you stretch it out as far as you can, leave it for a couple of minutes and then come back to it, stretch it out again. Just keep going back to it until you're at the size of pizza that you want. Another problem that you might face is the dough splitting or holes opening up in the dough. Now if this happens, I'll just show you here. All you have to do here is just pinch the dough together again above the hole and that'll solve the problem. So now we're ready to dress our pizza. So final check, make sure it's a nice round shape. Make sure we're getting rid of any of those last air bubbles that have developed. Get your toppings ready and put them onto your pizza. So our pizza's now topped and ready, so it's time to get it onto the peel. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. Some people like to have the peel like this and drag it on. I prefer to just go straight in underneath. So again, a little bit more semolina just on the edge of your peel here. Pinch the side of your crust. Put it onto the peel like that, nice and confident. And then once it's on, just pull it at the corners, keep that nice round shape, and we're ready for this pizza to go onto the oven. One last thing I do here is just give it a little shake just for any of that excess semolina or flour to fall through. Today we'll be cooking on the OONI KARU 16. It's been heating up for about 20 minutes, so it's at the right temperature to cook this Neapolitan style pizza. So there we are, guys, that was my stretching techniques for pizza dough. As you can see here, we've got a nicely cooked pizza that was cooked on the OONI KARU 16. By the way, if you wanted any more information or you wanted to buy one of these ovens, you can use the links in the description below. It doesn't cost any more money if you wanted to buy one, but it does help me out with a bit of commission so we can carry on making videos like this in the future. If you did enjoy this video, or for more pizza making tips, please remember to like and subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. Thanks very much for watching, and please join us next time for more pizza making videos.